What's up, guys? This is Josh from Mike Paranormal. I've got my camera, or my phone actually. My phone takes better video than what I'm using to record a lot of my videos. Today I actually want to talk about EMF meters. EMF meters are a huge staple in paranormal investigations. The reason for that is because that we are trying to rule out a couple of things. Artificial EMFs, and I'll get to why those in a second, and natural EMFs. We try to rule out artificial EMF because they are actually very dangerous to the human body. Many of you may have watched ghost shows, and they've talked about the effects that EMF can cause. It can actually mess your whole body up if you are exposed, and it's like the intensity is most likely going to be very low that you're exposed to. Like currently right now I'm exposed to about a half an EMF. So I mean, if you're like around a lot of power lines and power stations, and have every light in your house on, and just have all kinds of electronic equipment going on in your house, you're going to feel it. You're going to, after a while, you're going to start to feel it. The reason being is because a lot of scientists believe that not only everything in the environment has an EMF, the human body, every cell in it has its own EMF. So if those artificial EMFs start, blasting you with that EMF, it's going to mess up your natural flow. That's why a lot of people experience sickness, headaches. They get to hallucination. So we, as investigators, go into a house with these, looking for artificial EMFs. We try to rule out possible causes from like just a really high EMF in the area. They live next to a power station. If they got this going on outside their house, we try to rule out that. If there's like a natural like 0.1 EMF in the air, that's natural. That's not going to hurt anybody. Or artificial. The natural would be the one. I think I said that right. I really can't remember. If I did, I'll fix it. But another thing we look for is what could be doing it. If on an investigation, we try to get a preliminary reading of what the EMF is in every room. Try to get a base reading. You've heard probably them talk about this. So we're going around with our little meters, and we're measuring this, that, and all of a sudden we hit, just out of nowhere, a 4.0, and it holds for a few seconds and it goes away. We take note of it. We come back, say, okay, in that corner there's a 4.0, and we try to reread it. It won't reread anything. So then you got to start wondering if that is possibly the entity. As I said, we believe the human body and everything in it has its own EMF. So batteries have them. motors have them. I mean, if we turn this thing on and the spirit starts picking up the EMF from the batteries or from our own energy naturally, it's going to start registering a stronger reading, because now we're having uh, a little bit of an EMF coming in here, a little bit EMF coming in here, and a little bit coming in here, and it's going to start to pool together. And that is what the spirit is going to be manifesting from, that energy. We use these to pick up on that energy. We figure, and it's all theory. There is no set belief. Matter of fact, I've heard stories. I don't know what truth there is to it, but I've heard stories that the reason a lot of scientists that started investigating ghosts using EMF meters was because of Ghostbusters. I don't know what truth that is to it, because of Egon Spengler's PKE meter works as their as their EMF meter, but that thing said if it was a ghost, it was a ghost. There was no second guessing. There was no possible natural explanation. Whenever the PKE meter read there is an entity present, it was not BSing. But if we document something time and time and time and time again, and all of a sudden something else happens, you got to take note of it. You got to think, okay, what caused that? Was there something that was turned on? No. Well, everything's the exact same way it was before. I just read something there, which has happened to me more than once. Investigating a house not too long ago, and we was in one of the bedrooms, and we was talking about something, and it might have triggered the entity there, and we got like all of a sudden like a 7.0 on a Mel meter. That's really high. I didn't, because you can move your hand, and I know that thing says you can move your hand and actually cause these things to go up. But I was keeping it still, and it just jumped up to 7, held it for like 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then just dropped off slowly as if it was dissipating away. I don't know what it was. I wasn't moving, and the meter was holding still, yet a source of some sort came into my area. I registered it. It held for a few seconds, and then it slowly went away. So I believe that was a interaction of me picking up an entity with my EMF meter. They're useful. Are they to be 100% trusted? No. Like I said, you got to know what's natural and what's artificial, and what could be what you're just picking up off of appliances. That would be artificial, and what would be natural. Storming. If it's storming outside and you're getting high EMFs, chances are you're picking up the natural EMF that's in the area. The Trifield Natural EM meter was actually designed to read that kind of stuff. So, pay attention to the weather. Pay attention to what's going on around you. I love this house sometimes. I wish you could have seen what I just seen. And it usually happens whenever I'm recording a video. Stuff will happen. That's why I always tell you guys, pay attention to the audio in my videos. Because I'm not kidding. I could potentially pick up EVPs through these things. Or I might have something behind me that I am totally oblivious to that may happen. So a pin just moved about an inch. This one right here. It was sitting like this, and it moved just like that. But yeah, I guess that could have done it, but I'm about 3 inches away from that. I don't know. Anyway, back to the EMF meters. Pay attention to your surroundings, the weather patterns. That's why we measure this stuff, guys. So we're not making a fool out of ourselves from trying to convince people or ourselves from something that could be absolutely natural, trying to convince them and ourselves and put it out there, hey, we're catching ghosts here, whenever it's having a thunderstorm outside and lightning and, so once it's doing that, EMF meters are basically useless. So I guess during an investigation, check everything you can. Every room, find out how far the, appliances in the place, how far they read out, the intensity of them, power boxes, radios, cell phones, all of that. Find out how strong they are. Find out what's around them. Find out what's in the basement, because sometimes you can set an EMF meter on the floor and that thing will read up 200 because it may be reading the central air downstairs, which I've seen before too. And them kind of high EMFs will eventually start wearing on people to where they think, stuff's going on, because they'll get those hallucinations. They'll be made sick. They'll have that feeling like they're being touched because it'll give them that EBGB feeling. So we got to really, really pay attention to this stuff. It is very, very important to our research. So, I would recommend a decent EMF meter. This one I got on Amazon. It's the Field Tester 200. You see these on several ghost shows. This is the digital variety. I'm backwards to you guys, so it's like reading a 4.7 because I am being actually exposed to some pretty decent EMF right now. So get a good one. There's some cheap ones that you can get for like $5 and $10. Stay away from them. Save up your money a little bit and buy a K2 meter, a tri-field meter, one of those that I just showed you, the EMF field testers. There's a bunch of really good ones that are pretty reliable. So, as a, overall again, check outside, see what's around them. Matter of fact, if you have to, get a base reading of the property. Check inside, because a lot of like parapsychologists, if they would get called in, or like really smart scientist type people that go in with the idea that, hey, I'm going to debunk this into the ground, whether it makes sense or not. power line overhead. Oh, that's what it is. But, you know, it's just pay attention to everything. And if you can rule out every possible source and check it once, check it twice, and all of a sudden things start reading, then you've probably got yourself something going on. That's why I recommend, numerous people. You get a hit on your EMF meter. You're like, okay, take a picture. You get a hit on your EMF meter. Have a digital recorder in your hand. Hey, I just read you, or you here next to me. Blah blah blah. And then that's whenever your evidence is going to start coming in. So, it's really fun stuff. Investigate smart. Try to find out as much as you can about everything. Be a miniature scientist dealing with this stuff. So, yeah, I think that's about it for this video, guys. Usually, if you get a hit on your EMF meter, and it holds, and is continuously holding, chances are it's something else. So search around for it. If it comes and goes, like if you walk a few feet, you read it, and it goes away, and you walk a few more, you might be following it. It might be walking away from you. So, which I've had happen before too. So, I hope this video kind of helped explain a little bit of the EMF stuff. I plan on doing a series of these, so if I get some good feedback. So this has been Josh from Mike Paranormal. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.